Chair now recognizes Ms. Tlaib from Michigan.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you so much, Administrator Regan, for being here. You've been to Detroit, you've been to Michigan several times. I don't think I did get you to come out to meet some of our residents living on Beneteau Street yet, but Beneteau Street on the east side of Detroit is a predominantly Black, very working class, low income, poor community, and they have a massive Stellantis auto plant complex in their backyard. It's been making them sick and ruining their quality of life for years. Some can't even have outings outside with their families, barbecues, birthday parties. The odor is unbearable. I've experienced it myself, Administrator. And state regulators in Michigan had issued Stellantis air permits. And they had the public meetings, they did the whole process, but they failed to ensure that they complied with the permit conditions. They were required, Stellantis was required to install pollution controls. And they failed to install them correctly. I think they withheld that information for months. I don't know if it was 6 months, 7 months, it was months. Even though the residents were saying something's wrong here, the odor, something's wrong here, there's something wrong. And again, they did not fix it for months. This is, you know, our residents, one, they didn't feel believed by the state for a long time. But they also believe, like, wait, why are they always routinely, the state, approving pollution permits that they know are poisoning predominantly Black, brown, immigrant, low-income communities across Michigan? So they worked with a nonprofit organization called the Great Lakes Environmental Law Center, and in November, I believe, or in 2021, they filed a Title VI civil rights case, a complaint. Are you familiar at all with it at all?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so Administrator Shore and some of the members of the team at Region 5 talked to me about this. You know this. I mean, the EPA was pursuing an informal resolution agreement for more than a year with community members at the table, Administrator, and again, trying to get towards a resolution with the state. And all of a sudden, the state's like, nah, we don't want to talk to them anymore. And EPA was like, okay. Do you know why?
Given that this is an active Title VI case, I can't.
Microphone, make sure your microphone's on. Or, yeah,
given that it's an active Title VI case, it's improper for me to comment on or speculate.
Yeah, but it sounds like you guys are letting them off the hook. The leverage that we have as and I want you to know, I want them to feel like their lives are important under an administration that says they care about clean air and water, right? And it's hard for me, and no matter who's the president, administrator, I'm going to be very much always about holding them accountable. So as I understand, the law is clear. When there's an informal resolution agreement cannot be reached, EPA must investigate and issue findings that determine whether or not discrimination occurred. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we doing that?
Let me take this concern back to our Title VI lawyers and team that's working on this, and we will keep you apprised as much as we can.
And Administrator Regan, this is out of love and respect. I grew up in a neighborhood, honestly, I would come into my house as a little child, Chairman, smelling like rotten eggs. All my friends had asthma. I mean, it's awful. So I'm asking the EPA to take this complaint seriously.
Yes.
Set a precedent that you care and watch. No matter who is the governor, no matter who is in charge, it's important that we're consistent. And Mr. Regan, you know this, Administrator Regan, please fight for them like you live on Beneteau. Mm-hmm. Fight for them like you live there, because they have nobody else but us.
Yeah.
And we're blessed that we have a nonprofit that took the case, but we can't allow, again, politics and all these kinds of aspects come into play. We have to be consistent. Again, no one told them to look away when months and months and months went with them not complying with their own air permits. You know that. Companies put it in there. They sign it. They should comply with their own air permits, right? And again, I say this on behalf of many of my residents. We are doing good work in progress, but many of the young people, I know them. I have an 18-year-old at home. We're not moving with the urgency still that I think is needed. And implementation matters, you know that. And a lot of folks are not seeing the change they need immediately. So again, I'm here as a partner.
Yes.
And I'm here to bring those folks and those residents at the table with you. Thank you so much. I yield.
Thank you.
And I might add, we've gone on our side over about a minute and 45 seconds. I've agreed to yield that much time to the ranking member to get caught up, and then we'll proceed with the majority.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman. And I wanted to pose one question to Ms. Tlaib and then one to the administrator. You just made a very eloquent and passionate brief on behalf of the significance of enforcement, aggressive agency enforcement of the rules that we have under federal legislation. The Project 2025 plan that everybody's talking about, and our friend and colleague from North Carolina, Ms. Fox, talked about the importance of deregulation, that is loosening up regulation. And I wonder what you would say about that in general, and then also specifically about deregulation of corporations at a time that we're also hearing from our friends about the importance of regulating women's bodies and women's choices, with 1/3 of American women not being able to get access to an abortion in America, and also further crack down on birth control and IVF and so on.
No, Ranking Member Raskin, it is bizarre. Even today, thinking about the fact that they consistently want to regulate the bodies of women, but also even the fact that our bodies are more regulated than even around the gun crisis, around the fact that right now, many of our constituents and our families continue to say to me, we have a right to breathe clean air, right? We have a right to access clean water, right, Rashida? Why aren't we working towards that? To allow corporations to have a free will of going ahead, because let me tell you, I don't care if you're red or blue state, they will poison your residents if you let them. They will. And so, shame on those that continue to promote this Project 2025. And again, the sense that corporations have all this free will, and they don't care about our public health. They care about the bottom line. They care about profiting off of the pollution they spew out to residents, especially ones that are currently struggling to even access health care right now.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll have to get to the question to you later, Mr. Minister.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair.